Boys and girls, welcome to the Supercar Challenge here at Assen. It is race number 3 from me today. It's my final racing commentary for the weekend. And wow, we've got very wet conditions here. How are we all doing? Hopefully you're all well. And what a result it was for Sheldon van der Linde this week. And I predicted that. I literally predicted that this morning, that I thought Sheldon may be able to get the result done, and he duly did deliver. So Robin Freins, Sheldon van der Linde, 2 new winners of the DTM. We've got the fans at the circuit today. The fans are still there, hopefully, maybe not in their droves, but they are there all the same. But now it's time for the Supercar Challenge. We had race 1 yesterday, and now we're on to race 2 today. The big winners yesterday were indeed Castacal and indeed Alain Berg. And I actually have been talking to Castacal, and there he is. I've been speaking to him on Twitter over the last couple of days, because he was informing me that yes, indeed, he is in the car, but with my spotter guide, he didn't actually he wasn't on the spotter guide. So he's also said it's okay to call him the Frog, and he's a sim racer. He races on Assetto Corsa and Assetto Corsa Competizione. So maybe we'll see him in the future within the sim racing world as well. And here we go. Leading the race yesterday, Max Aschoff was leading by the country mile. Huge advantage, but unfortunately, the car broke down, the Ginetta Nissan. So are we going to see a repeat of what happened yesterday? Who knows? Luke de Kock as well. They were leading the race, and they did DNF. So very interesting. We had John de Wilder, who's in the white Porsche number 101, and we had indeed Hoob van Eindhoven, who finished in 3rd. So those two were on the podium yesterday. Are they going to be able to do that again? Okay, cool. We don't need to be able to see anything there at all. That's absolutely fine. The bright lights. So hopefully we get the official grid up on your screen so you've all got the information. But not long to go. So there's the klaxon here, so we'll have a formation lap. So many different types of cars here today, so this is just such a showcase event. You can see it's proper raining here as well. So we will start under the safety car. Earlier on we had the championships that we had today. We've had loads of championships today. We had the Touring Wagon Classics that started under the safety car. So it's more than likely going to be exactly the same here for these as well. So the weather conditions are absolutely treacherous here. Safety first and all that. Lots of different car classes in this race as well. It should be an exciting one, that's for sure. That's one thing it definitely will be. It's exciting. Still loads of fans in the stands as well, which is fantastic to see. Here we go then, Assen, race 2, Supercar Challenge. We start under the safety car. So if this is not a formation lap, this is an official lap now under the safety car. So how many laps do we start under the safety car? It was 2 laps earlier. Whether or not that will be the same for this championship or not, I am not overly too sure. But again, we will find out. There's no 2 ways about it. Will the Porsches have another stellar day here? So they've had some great pace. But I just feel like the touring cars may be a little bit more adept in these conditions. Maybe find a little bit more grip. So we could see a completely different result as to what we saw yesterday. Of course, the prototypes will be at the front, barring any mechanical issues like we saw yesterday. But who knows? But we want to see some racing here, don't we? We don't want to be behind the safety car for the entirety of the session. We want to see some proper racing. But again, it is raining here. It's not just wet track, it's raining really bad. Alain Berg and Castacal then are on pole position. De Jonge and Boonen in 2nd. Max Aschoff in 3rd. De Kock and Jusen in 4th. We've then got Steenmetz in 5th. Well, the graphics are still too fast for me. We've then got Van Loon in 11th. Bob Bow in 12th, Van Vliet and Zwerder in 13th. And again, they're just too fast for me, unfortunately. Hopefully you guys caught exactly who is where. So very, very minimal visibility here. This is the worst as the conditions have been. You can see that the clouds set in, the weather has set in. I don't think we're going to have any point in this race where it goes dry. We got this 4.5 kilometer track. And actually earlier on today, during the Mazda MX-5s, we had half the track that had no rain, it was sunny, and half the track, it was just horrendous. So like sector number 3 was terrible, but sector 1 and sector 2, those two were just dry as a whistle. So safety car then still leading our drivers around Assen here. And it looks like we are definitely going to be having one more lap at the very least here. Air temperature 14.6 and track is 14.4. Very, very similar temperature. Still quite warm though. But yeah, the rain is coming down. This is going to be a fun one to commentate on, that's for sure. As we come around the final chicane, looks like we will indeed have at least one more lap under the safety car here. Across the start-finish line. You can see them all trying to generate as much heat as possible. Into those tyres, especially the leader here, Cascatau, the Romanian. Lives in the UK. Fun fact for you. I think me and Cascatau became best friends. Just throwing it out there. Just throwing it out there. You know, this is what happens. So as you can see, the time is ticking down. So we officially are in race time right now. But we are under safety car. So there's no overtaking allowed. And, well, when race director deems the track safe enough, we will indeed be able to get racing. But unfortunately, it's not like before this weekend where the rain has stopped. It is proper raining right now, so there's so much rain coming down that indeed the track might not get any better. So I guess it's down to the safety car driver, race control, to say, do you know what, I feel like the drivers may have enough lap time now underneath them to realise where the best spots on the circuit are to indeed gain lap time or indeed safely lap around the circuit. But of course we want to see some racing action, but safety has to be the ultimate paramount. So we will indeed find out shortly as to what's going on. René Steenmetz then, he's the first of the non-prototype cars. Well, that must be a sight in front of him. The amount of water they must be chucking up. Ridiculous. Safety car lights, though, still flashing. So it looks like we are going to indeed have another lap after this. But as you can see, look at it, it's like a river across the circuit right now. People are barely able to see now going around the track at 40, 50 miles an hour. Imagine going around at 150 plus. It's going to be nigh on impossible. So if the rain does subside at some point, I can imagine this getting going. But look how much water's being kicked up, even by the safety car. Although the one positive is that no one's dropped it under the safety car conditions, so that will go a long way. So across the line then to start our third lap. And it is indeed Cascatau that still leads, of course. Imagine Leeds just changed hands. Just no, that's not how it is. That's not how it is. Younger and Boonen are in second position. And we've got De Kock and Jewson in third. And in fourth is Max Aschoff. So 53 minutes still left on the clock, so plenty of time for us to indeed maybe get some racing conditions or some racing going. I feel sorry for the flag wavers. That is going to hurt after a while. You have to have one strong old right arm to be doing that for the entirety of a race, that's for sure. So a big shout out to the marshals. A big shout out to everybody, especially when the track is in these kind of conditions. The turnaround of different car championships has been absolutely incredible from everybody concerned. So the marshals, so the race director, all of the pit crews, you've done a stellar job this weekend because the weather has just been changing constantly. It's not been easy for anybody here. Decisions being made as well on the fly. So the fact that we've had loads of racing here today, we haven't had one session dropped at all this weekend. So yeah, massive props to all of the people involved here at Assen this weekend. And we've had two of arguably the best DTM races of the season as well. Two new winners. The Mazda MX-5 Cup races have been incredible. I'm sure there's loads of new fans of the MX-5 Cup Championship after how close they've seen that is. Safety car still got the lights flashing. So it looks like we may have another lap here again. Say, very unlikely that unless the rain stops, we're going to be able to get any racing underway. Although we've seen the safety car indeed take the lights off really late in the lap, so it could go right up until the entry of the pit lane. But you can see the visibility here is just atrocious right now. Nigh on impossible. And you've seen over the weekend as well, like when they do laps behind the safety car, a dry line, not a dry line, but a drier line is forming on the circuit. We have not had that at all. I just realised that the Jonge and Boonen are not in this race. So it's De Kock and Jewson that are in this race. So my mistake there. But yeah, we're just not even seeing a dry line form or a dry air line form in the first 10 minutes. So it's a tough decision to call. Oh, well, there we go. Coming back out. I'm not too sure what's going on there. It's doing some sort of issue. Got a bit of flooding here. So, oh no, they're creating drainage. Well, I've never seen that before at a race circuit. Marshals are actually creating drainage. Fair play. That just shows how much weather there is here for them to be actually creating some drainage for the water to run off. Fair play. That is above and beyond. That is definitely above and beyond. But while we're here then, should we have a little see who's watching? Send me a tweet, guys, at ActroVision. Let me know how you're watching, where you're watching around the world. Yeah, that'd be cool. See if anyone is actually watching alongside with me. That would be fantastic. So hashtag AskLuke at ActroVision. See if we can get you lot involved in the conversation, can we? We're still under safety car here. The lights are still flashing, of course, on the top of that Audi, which means we will stay behind the safety car until it's deemed safe. Four different classes, all racing at the same time here. So in previous races or weekends for the Supercar Challenge. They have the fastest 2 classes race in one race, and they have the slower 2 classes race in another. So we're very fortunate this weekend that we've got all 4 of them together for both races. So that's proved to be quite exciting. But yeah, very rare that happens. It normally happens at Spa. And wow, here we go. I think we're about to go. So safety car has peeled in, ladies and gentlemen. And the race is about to start here. And it's actually caught a load of drivers out, I think. But as we go across the line here, Cascatau is off. And we go green then in Assen for the Supercar Challenge race number 2. And well, Cascatau took full advantage there. I don't know whether anyone else was told about it. But it is indeed Aschoff then in 3rd position. And we believe that it's René Steenmetz it's Aschoff in 2nd. Steenmetz is in 3rd spot as it stands. They come around turn of 1. Everyone gets through there pretty nicely. They've all just got to be a little bit careful. But the safety car, not only did it catch some of the drivers out, caught me out as well. But yeah, the safety car is indeed in now. Very, very treacherous conditions. And this looks like it might be a race over here. 47 minutes to go. So look at the spray being kicked up here. Visibility at an absolute minimum. And well, here come the Porsches then. And well, there's Eindhoven. So Eindhoven already up into P3. That's where he finished yesterday. And well, where there is John de Wilder. We're expecting him to come through pretty quickly here as well. And see if those two can have a nice little duke out for the podium once again. Eindhoven actually got a drive-through penalty yesterday. That initially cost him P3 to John de Wilder, but then because of a DNF at the front, because of mechanical problems, he managed to get himself back in the hunt. So yeah, good stuff there by Eindhoven, and he managed to still finish in a podium position in 3rd spot. De Wilder, though, finished in 2nd. Are we going to see the same from the 2 Porsches today? You can see Eindhoven already pulling a gap here. In the 2nd phase, though, de Wilder just found a whole different level of pace. So again, wonder whether today might be the day when the fuel load gets a bit lighter. They can't change tyres, and they cannot refuel the cars as well during this race. But they do indeed have to stay in the pit stop for a minimum amount of time. And also, there's no ballast in this championship, but they have time penalties given to them in... Oh, I'll tell you what, here's a nice little battle here then. As Cascatau comes through, Aschoff is in 2nd position. In 3rd spot is Van Eindhoven, and then we've got Steenmetz, De Borst, Graper. So De Borst and Graper had a battle pretty much race long yesterday. Looks like they're going to continue that here today. But yeah, they have to stay in the pits, and based on success. So they get a 15-second penalty as a maximum for success of previous rounds. So people are held into the pits a lot longer than they have been previously due to the success ballast. I guess it's some time ballast. But as it stands then, still in the lead, it's Cascatau, the Frog from Romania. As you can see, the rain is absolutely pouring it down right now. So the track conditions just are not going to improve. They are not going to improve here for sure. The green flag, they're out. If anyone can actually see that green flag. And right now, you can actually see here that the touring cars... I'm sorry, we're actually watching a replay here. So I just wondered why they'd all just closed up there. It says replay at the top. This is me being dopey. So yeah, everybody indeed has visibility issues. And I have it as well. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. My mistake. There we go. Very good start from turn number 1. Like you can see, then we've got an Expo here in behind the BMW. They're chasing down another BMW in front. Marcel van der Maat. Up ahead of Gerrit de Vos. Both Dutchies and their home circuit as well. We've seen some success from Freins this weekend. And well, will we potentially see another Dutchie take a podium today? Van Eindhoven, of course, took a podium yesterday as well. So yeah, very, very likely. And well, you can see here that we've got a proper bit of movement then as de Wilder moving up the order. So he's up ahead of Graper now. He's made his move on Graper. And next up for him then will be Dennis de Borst. So the white Porsche is coming through the pack here. And Eindhoven not really driving away from anybody here, so an opportunity. But again, it's Cascatau still leads the race here. Aschoff who yesterday led the race for the most part in the Ginetta prototype, Nissan powered, then had the engine failure, which was not good, or a failure. So we've just gone over the quarter-way mark of this race as well. And well, like gorillas in the mist, you just cannot see these cars coming through the pack at all here. It's, yeah, quite the challenge. Some of these drivers will be, you know, I don't know, they'll be relishing the challenge. Other guys will be like, no, I just want to go home. We've got Ronald and Luke Van Loon with that BMW, the number 222. Again, a lot of family drivers together. Throughout all the 3 championships actually this weekend. A bit of a mistake there from that Hyundai, the red Hyundai there, running a little bit wide, and that is Dennis de Borst, of course. Graper just in behind. De Borst is just completely losing it here, and wow, the rear steps out, the door's left open. Are we going to see the move done? We are indeed, so there we go, move taking place here. Oscar Graper moving up a spot. But your guess is as good as mine, ladies and gentlemen, as to who you're seeing. Actually, there might be a problem here for De Borst, because again, he's just lost out to the Van Loons in the BMW. So I'm hoping it's not. Well, he's not coming to the pits here, so yeah, maybe it's not such a big issue as I might have first thought. Go a bit further back here. Is that some sort of drier line showing through? Could potentially be. I think it is. So maybe that means the weather has subsided. We just saw a little glimpse there of a Ford Focus, and that is Danny Wagtmans. And now we're on board with either Chris Voet or indeed Bart van der Broek. Wow, here's a battle then. And it is John de Wilder who moves up a position. He's now right in behind the green Porsche of Huub van Eindhoven. So we've got Huub van Eindhoven versus John de Wilder, round 2 of the weekend. And well, actually, it was presented here by René Steenmetz. So Steenmetz runs wide and grabs a load of curb on the exit, and the Porsche with the power advantage will indeed just go, thank you very much, gobble up that spot. And now we're going to see the battle for positions. We saw these two battling pretty much the whole race yesterday, which was really exciting to see. And well, yet again, we're getting to see that action unfold right before our very eyes. Yeah, we've got Mark Wieringer in the number 410. And behind the green mobile. I'll tell you what, Mark's going to have a little nibble here. I'm not going to see it because we've got side-by-side action in the background here as well. Ford Focus then. Danny Wagtmans trying his level best to try and keep in the lead here. Didn't have the best of races yesterday, and they're following the 208, the only Peugeot on the grid. But look at the pressure he is under here. Late dive up the inside. Doors has to be left open. Again, the Ford Focus doing a hell of a job here of defending. It's a beautiful bit of work. Still holding on to that position. And then there's the mistake, runs a little bit wide, and unfortunately loses the spot then to the 481. So these BMWs, they've been having such battles during this whole weekend. Whether it be dry, whether it be wet, you know they're going to be close to each other. Just goes to show the BOP is really close. They are the same car, of course. It means that the teams who've set the cars up have really nailed it. But it is Cascatau who leads the way, Ashoff in second position. Ashoff not really challenging to get to the lead here, so yeah, strange one. Oh, and De Wilder then chasing down Eindhoven has made a mistake, runs a little bit wide. Yeah, nothing too crazy there. If anything, will gain time. Maximising speed around the exit there. Opens up the next corner nicely. So needs to be careful. John de Wilder then. Now into P4. So it's kind of similar to yesterday. He stole away the podium from Huub van Eindhoven. Now he's got to do it all over again. got Jonas De Kimper here with Lorenzen. Battling for what would be P9. BMW versus the Volkswagen. Here we go, late move then up the inside into turn number 1. Well, the BMW says thank you very much. You can see in the background then Dennis de Borst. No, sorry, that's not Dennis de Borst at all. But the Volkswagen not having a good day at all right now. Hein Koopman. Yeah, definitely had better days. Again, Koopman losing another position here. Unfortunate. So a few cars, we've seen that from this racing. Just drop off the order. They out-qualified their position. Of course, qualifying was in dry conditions, so drivers are obviously going to be different within the conditions, the wet conditions. Cars are all going to react differently as well. We're not seeing Mario Martel in the Lamborghini. But there we go, Cascatau leads the way, Aschoff second, Eindhoven, Gualda in third and fourth, Steenlitz in fifth, Graper, Van Loons, De Borst and Van Rie are your top 8. We've then got De Kimper or Spillman, Rensen, Marcel van der Maat, Hein Koopman. We've then, well, the rest of them. So 24 drivers still then racing along here. And well, we've just had a change for the lead. So there you go. Aschoff has finally found the lead. Took a long time, but indeed we have got the lead then for Aschoff. So that means that Cascatau has moved down into P2. But will that Ginetta Nissan, will they get to the end? That's the big question here. So Ginetta chassis with a Nissan powered engine. Carving through the traffic here, just coming up towards the halfway point of this race. And there we go, there's the move, down towards turn number 1. Cascatau straight away, just getting into the slipstream there to try and maybe have a nibble back under braking. You can see the Cascatau's a little bit faster through turn 1 there, and does actually go for it here into turn 2. Just doesn't have the outright pace, unfortunately, to really bite back here. But Aschoff doesn't want to be making mistakes, that's for sure. That is for certain. There's a battle between the Peugeot and a BMW once again. The 208 did not have a good day yesterday. Actually, had to come into the pits twice due to some sort of technical issues with the car, and then later retired in the race early. But at least it's good to see that we're racing still here, 34 minutes into the race. The Peugeot has warded off that pressure just for the time being. Oh, I'll tell you what though, there's a mistake. That's not good. BMW all the way around the outside here. Has to be left the room. And wow, this is a brave overtake. You see, going through a puddle there, definitely would have aquaplaned. Had a huge opportunity. And wow, now they've got to deal with Aschoff. Here we go, first pit stop's coming in then. Dennis de Borst or Lorenzo van Rie. They're coming in to swap drivers. See this in, well, we can watch the whole thing. Look at this, look at the transition here. He's getting out the car, he's off. But it's still Aschoff that leads the way. So this 208 BMW battle is just relentless. These two are going to be sick of the sight of each other by the end of this. Absolutely sick of the sight of each other. Just seems like under braking the BMW is a lot better. But here we go, another battle then on circuit. It's not Graper that's going to be losing another position, is it? We've got the Van Loon car with the BMW. Battling with Oscar Graper. So Graper losing more positions here today. So it looks like we've got the Expo there being overtaken. Is that the Volkswagen? Again, the conditions here are very tough for me to see what exactly is going on. Yeah, it was Volkswagen, and it is indeed a Leon Cupra, two of them, and a BMW. So the Expo, they're getting out of the way nicely to come onto the back straight chicane around the back end of the circuit, sector 2, before they embark on the rest of this circuit. And one of the doors left wide open there. The Cupra comes through as well. I have no idea if that's position or indeed if it's a lapped vehicle. Who knows? All I know is that Max Aschoff still leads this race. In behind then is indeed Cascatel, although they will need to come and pit and change their driver. It does look like the weather is starting to subside here. It's a lot brighter. I say a lot brighter, it's a little bit brighter. Looks like the cloud cover has indeed gone away from the circuit. But it's still very, very wet on the circuit. You can see that there is visibly a line that is a little bit drier. But we will have this as a wet race for the entirety of it. 30 minutes to go here. Dennis de Borst, well actually no, sorry, it's Lorenzo Van Rie, I think now, in the car. Aschoff leads and Cascatel is in second. It is Eindhoven and De Wilde who are still in third and fourth. 3 seconds apart, 2.5 seconds apart. Steenmetz, Graper, Van Loon. It could be one of the Van Loons. So Graper comes into the pits here then to indeed give up the seat finally for his teammate here, which I think will be Henry Zumbrink. It could have been either. It could have been Henry Zumbrink getting in first and Oscar Graper getting in second. But the team of the 250 car are now doing their pit stop, as are the 222, which is the Van Loons. So it'll be Ronald or Luke that will finish off this race here today, and then we will indeed have the Expo here of Gerrit de Vos, who will finish the race entirely. And they are held into the pits all for the exact same time. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. That is not good. So the 481 here has been involved in some damage, and that is the Black Brothers for Team Zilhouette. And well, the fact that that car is still going, well, fair play, but that is definitely going to be called in. Very surprised if not already been black flagged. Because that is a lot of car exposed there. Also, it would have. It's going to be impeding the vision just slightly, not crazily, but just slightly. And here comes the leader then. So Aschoff is into the pits, as are the two Porsche. I don't think Cascatel's come in. The 614 hasn't come in. So they will lead the race once again for a lap. Trying to fix that. There we go. Duct tape. Duct tape fixes everything. That is a fact. Duct tape fixes everything. So they're making sure it's flattened down just to get to the end of this race, which you do love to see. Marcel van der Maat then comes into the pits. Well, he will be finishing this race. They will just hold him. Looks like they're giving him a drink. Make sure everything's good. Look at that. That new paint scheme at the front of that car. Here we go. We're going to see the actual replay here. Oh, he just drives into the back of the Peugeot. Wow, that is some quite some damage for that. It wasn't like the Peugeot was stationary. Wow, proper crumpled up there. Well, that poor BMW. Fair play though to the pit crew. They're straight on it. They're fixing the car up like nothing happened. Actually, there's gaffer tape already on the top. So there must have been damage to that car already, actually. Coming to think about it. I've just had a message from a fan of the show, my dad, and he just said duct tape does fix everything. He's a builder, he should know. So we've got a bit of a pause in proceedings here. Well, there's no safety car. It just seems like everybody's coming in for their pit stop. So we'll get confirmation as to where people are situated in the race right now. Oh, that's funny. Oh. Well, my dad's a funny man. Well, there's Ashoff there dealing with some of the lapped traffic here today. And well, are we going to see Ashoff actually win the race today? Yesterday led for so long, but unfortunately with that issue was a DNF. As you can see there, Ashoff leads, and then Cascatau second. Eindhoven and Wilder are in third and fourth. Steenmetz, Arensen, Van der Maat then up to P7. This was the pit stop phase as well. But Ashoff with a chance here to win the race. It would be great to see, that happen. Hein Koopman then from the Netherlands is the Z4 that we've just seen being lapped. With 25 minutes to go here, just over the halfway point. I don't know if we're going to see the two Porsches battle like yesterday. I think Van Eindhoven may have the pace today. As you can see, the conditions are getting so much better. It's still very much wet. It's going to be wet for the rest of this session, but yeah, it's not as bad as how it started out today, because that was just... basically, a boat probably would have won this race with how wet it was. Out on circuit here at Assen. Well, there is the Wilder. So the other Porsche is just in behind. So it will be a battle for the podium, I think. It might take a mistake, though, from Eindhoven with 24 minutes to go. They've done their pit stop, so it will be a duke out right to the end. And we've got a yellow flag here. So a yellow flag has been thrown out on the course. Oh, dear, that will be a safety car, I think. That will be a safety car. And the runoff out of turn one. I'd be very surprised if it isn't. I think it's just onto the curb. And the car decides to swap ends. Try to save it one way, car goes the other. Makes complete sense. And then into the gravel there. And once you beached into the gravel, when it's dry, it's tough enough to get out of there. When it's wet, it's nigh on impossible. It's like driving on or trying to start up on glass marbles. And there you go, look, just digging in. And Marcel van der Maat then, who's having a relatively good race actually, finds himself in the gravel. So we're going to need to get that recovered. So I wonder whether it might just be a full course yellow where they just have to make sure they go and slow themselves. Yeah, well, as I say that, it changes to full course yellow. So I believe the next protocol will be safety car. So it's full course yellow now, and then they assess the situation. And I'll be very surprised if we don't see a safety car. Oh, no, not again! Ashoff then leading the race. Is binned it, I would imagine, or have they just pulled over again? Let's see what's happened here. Oh, through the chicane completely misses the entrance. Oh, wow. Yeah. Tries to recover the car. Not quite going to work out. And then into the gravel. Are we going to try and get going again? Is it beached? We'll see the spinning of the wheels. He's furious. Absolutely furious then. And this is yeah, it's beached. And this is another potential race victory. So the car, he's about a lap ahead of everybody. So he could get back out and win this race, but just can't get going. He's just so delicate on the throttle to try and gain any traction here. But it just looks like that car is beached. It's going to be another one then. Another car we're going to have to be getting out. We've got a full course yellow here, ladies and gentlemen, with 22 minutes to go. Still surprised the safety car hasn't been called. But everyone has to go very, very slowly. So it'll be double waved yellows through turn 1 and turn 2. And well, now out the back end of the circuit as well. So the rescue car is going to be dragging this car out. And that will be race over. So Max Ashoff then, second day in a row, in a winning position. He's going to come away with 0. BMW's out then off the gravel. Again, the marshals have done a sensational job this weekend. So they've had so many different conditions to have to deal with. And it looks like we've got some of the weather from Assen over here in the UK now, because it is absolutely smashing it down. And it is a full course safety car. There we go. So safety car is out now, which is going to bunch everyone up, which should give us a nice little sprint at the end of this race then. So there we go. There. Max has just been pulled out of the gravel. So the car should be good to go back to the pits on its own, but it will be dragged there, I would imagine. So off we go then. We're going again. As you see, the safety car is going to catch all of the cars here. Marcel van der Maat then, who was just off into the gravel. Like, they have to go back to the pits and the race is over for them. I've never heard this rule of being official, but I'm sure once you've been pulled out the gravel by a third party, you're done. So safety car, it won't be out for too long, I wouldn't imagine. Once everyone's caught up to the back of it, they'll more than likely just pop in. But yeah, 2 incidents then. Marcel van der Maat and Ashoff both unfortunately succumbed to the gravel here at Assen. Drivers who aren't going to be too worried about that is our race leader, Alain Berg. So we had Cascatal lead out the race. Now it's Alain Berg who's in the car. And it could be a double win for them this weekend, which I'll be very, very happy with indeed. Got the safety car there. Would not look out of place in the DTM Trophy Championship, which we'll be back with next week. Oh, now that is a cool championship for sure. So safety car should be going in relatively quickly here. I wouldn't imagine we're going to be under too many laps here. Maybe an extra one more, I guess, just to make sure that the whole pack has indeed closed in. And as we come out towards the final couple of corners now, we are, I believe. So, yeah, it's definitely going to be at least one more lap, but I wouldn't imagine it'd be any more than that. And, well, as it stands, Marcel van der Maat, who was the reason for the safety car, is actually behind the safety car in this race still. So Ashoff into the pits here. And Well, by the looks of things, I think they're going to continue. Okay, I've never seen this before. I've never seen the reasons for a safety car be able to continue a race. That's phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Don't get me wrong, it's good for racing. This is what we want to see. This is exactly what we want to see. We want to see as much action as possible, as many cars on track as possible. But yeah, very strange. Safety car still taking us around Assen then, with 15 minutes to go. See the duct tape BMW still going strong. Probably the fastest car on circuit right now with that duct tape. 16 minutes, 15 seconds to go. So they've still got the car going for Max Ashoff. Well, proper drama here. So the safety car's still got the lights flashing, as we do indeed. We're going to go on one more, for sure. One more lap. I guess there must be some gravel on the circuit somewhere. Well, maybe not, actually. Maybe we will indeed get going again. I can't believe that Van der Maat is still in the race. He's literally the reason why we've got a safety car. And he just gets pulled out of the gravel and said, thank you very much. Well, here we go. Racing is about to commence again. And, well, I think the biggest battle we're going to be watching here are those two Porsche, who are battling now for second position again. They did this yesterday, now they're doing it again. You can see them there in the background, the green and white Porsche. It is between John de Wilder and Huub van Eindhoven. And Van Eindhoven got beat yesterday by John de Wilder. Is it going to be the same again, or is Van Eindhoven going to get a second position on that podium spot? It's pretty much guaranteed, unless there's any issues with the car, that we will indeed have that prototype then of Alain Berg and Cascatau win the race. But here we go green. And well, there's loads of cars here that are laps down as well. So it's absolute mayhem. John de Wilder then is going to try and use all of this lap traffic to his advantage. Eindhoven already moving up a position here, indeed, from lap traffic. John de Wilder late on the brakes here, side by side between the two. Gets boxed in though. And wow, there's contact between cars in the background here. And they're all trying to shuffle for position. So none of the lapped vehicles were let through. So we've got a proper shuffle of cars here. There's so many cars out of position right now. And wow, John de Wilder with an opportunity to take full advantage of that fact right there. So you can see then it is the two Porsche, the green and white. That's the two we've got to be watching out for. They're battling for second position. Well, I tell you what, we've got our very own Mika Hakkinen and Michael Schumacher moment there potentially. And well, they both come through either side then of the lap traffic. And as you can see here, de Wilder has pulled up alongside, not quite close enough, has to get on the brakes a little bit earlier. And with 14 minutes to go, this could be a hair-raising finale, which I am very much looking forward to. Remember, yesterday it was the white Porsche that got the better of Eindhoven. Eindhoven actually had to serve a drive-through penalty, which lost him P2, effectively. He managed to still get onto the podium due to the DNFs of the cars in front, which we've had exactly the same here again with the prototypes. Well, it looks like we've got a late lunch here by the Expo. BMW not able to indeed contend with that. Fair play. We've got Graper then trying to make his way through here as well. Graper, one of the quicker cars in that Cupra. And then number 250. We're going to get a flag here again. I'm wondering whether that might be something. Normally yellow flags breed yellow flags, of course. Watching here, Lorenzo Van Rie absolutely carved through the field right now. Man on a mission. We saw this yesterday as well. Yesterday it was exceptional. There's the 190. Oh dear. That is not good. That's Hein Koopman from the Netherlands on his home race. And I'm wondering whether that's also going to be a safety car here. Looks like it's in a very dangerous position on the circuit. None of the cars are anywhere near that position on the circuit yet, so they've got time to make a decision. But I'll be very surprised again if that's not called as a safety car. See everyone carving through the traffic now. And we're going to start to get our actual in-race battles coming up. With 12 minutes to go, full course yellow. And well, that transitioned into a safety car last time out. Is it going to be the same here? Oh, that's a damaged rim. That's a new rim needed, for sure. And well, let's check out exactly what happened there. Hopefully we get the replay sent through. That car is going to have to be dragged. And actually might have to be lifted. And there we go. We got the orange and black flag. That means the car needs to come in for excessive damage, and I'm going to have hazard a guess as to who that is. Yes, it's the 481. Black and orange flag. You need to come into the pits, otherwise you will be disqualified from the race to fix any potential damage. The safety car has been engaged. So we will be having a safety car. And with 10 minutes left of this race, potentially that's it. Could well just be it. Wow. If any of you are out there watching right now, come and ask me a question. Hashtag AskLuke at ActRollVision on Twitter. Get yourselves involved. It's the last race I'll be commentating for the weekend. So if anyone wants to come and say hello, get yourselves involved. I'm not too sure how many people are watching this right now. But yeah, let me know where you're watching from. And into the pits then comes the 481. And, well, that was always going to happen, wasn't it? It's the first time in the 3 weeks I've been doing this as a job for DTM. We've seen the orange and red flag. Or sorry, the black flag with the orange dot. I wonder if they're going to try and fix it again, or is it game over? Well, hopefully the cameras give us a chance to see this. There's no one rushing to that car. I think they're done. It looks like a BMW's uglier brother at this point. They tried their best, and actually I think there might be more contact because the actual duct tape part of the car is held together pretty damn strong. And just there onto the weight jacks actually, so just weighing the car. So just going to tow the 190 off into a safer position here. And they're just taking it all off. There we go. Now we're going to leave the whole front of the car exposed. And I can tell by the haste that they're doing it means that they're going to take the car back out. They're going to put the car back out on circuit. So the whole front splitter, it's going to be off that car. Well, new bollards, please, being posted here as well. Seen that happen a few times this weekend. As you can see, they've all sorted themselves out a little bit more here as well. So we've actually got the legitimate positions. Apart from, which I still cannot believe that Marcel Van der Maat is still in this race. He beached himself into the gravel, which gave us our previous safety car. And he's in the race. I don't believe he's fourth, though. Like, he's still a few laps down. But crazy. But we are under safety car here with 8 minutes to go of this race. And it is indeed Alain Berg, the Luxembourg driver in P1, who's racing alongside Cascatau. We've got a drive-through penalty. Who's that for? It can't be Van Eindhoven again. 250. That's not Van Eindhoven. That is indeed Graper. So Oscar Graper then with a drive-through penalty. But again, it's back to battle of the Porsche. It's back to battle of the Porsches. Who's going to come out on top? Is it going to be De Wilde? Is it going to be Eindhoven? Who's going to get that P2? So we're pretty sure that the 614, Alain Berg, Cascatau, they're going to sew up the victory here. Double victory this weekend at Assen. But it's all about the Porsches then. Who's going to get that second spot? And will they swap round? So yesterday, De Wilde got second. And third position went to Eindhoven. Safety car still out, so I think they're probably coming in now. Should be coming in this lap. I'd be pretty surprised if not. Lights still flashing on top of the safety car. 5 minutes, 50 seconds to go. Also, I want to shout out to Marvin, who's been my man on the ground every time there's been like a stoppage and incidents, and telling me when there's going to be a stop in play and stuff like that. He's been pretty good with the communication towards me. So, big shout out. 5 minutes, 30 seconds left to go. And here we go, safety car is coming in. So we've got a 5-minute sprint race here, ironically, in an endurance 1 hour race. Sometimes you're just given what you wanted without even asking for it. So the prototype should be able to drive away, but it's all about those two Porsches. And then here we go, green. It is green then, ladies and gentlemen, and the two Porsches are off. So we don't really need to be too worried about anybody else in this race. It's all about that podium battle. It is all between second and third right now. And, well, potentially, and Alain Berg may have an issue. You never know. That's kind of been the nature of Assen this weekend and this championship specifically. We need to be careful because there might be a P1 up for grabs. As you can see them all coming through. We've got a couple of drive-through penalties. It's so sunny here now at Assen. So if you didn't see the weather on the floor, you'd think it was a very nice, beautiful summer's day. And, well, there we go. You can see we've got the Hyundai then battling with René Steenmetz. So Steenmetz battling with Lorenzo Van Rie. But look at this. De Wilde is right up in behind Eindhoven. So Eindhoven in the green Porsche. In the white one then is indeed John De Wilde. Who's going to come out on top here? We've got all sorts of shenanigans for top fours, top fives in the background as well. It's very, very good stuff indeed. And, well, John De Wilde is pulling up closely here. We've got some flashing of the lights then, trying to get past the Expo, the Hyundai. Not happy, of course, the Expo is a couple of laps down at this point. But the restart is frantic. We really want to be looking at the front three here. That's where everybody's earning their onions as it stands. John De Wilde, I just saw in the distance there in the foreground. That indeed, De Wilde hasn't yet managed to get in that position. Just the KTM being mugged off a little bit here. Again, is a few laps down. That bit, it looks like that Volkswagen has had a little bit of damage to the front there. It looks like the bonnet's a little bit crumpled up, which now makes it look more like a Volkswagen Polo. We forget about Berg and Cascatau then leading by 3.8 seconds, but it's half a second then between Eindhoven and Wilde. It's between those two. We want to see them on camera. We need to. There we go. Here we go. Yes. De Wilder then in behind for the P2. This is how they finished yesterday, but the opposite way around. Eindhoven had it stolen away because of a drive-through penalty. And while today, can he do it? Can he keep that car in front then of De Wilder? We're going to see frantic action for sure. And the white Porsche is a lot faster in a straight line. But the green one, it seems to be very, very good through corners. You can see now the De Wilder will close in along this straight here. He's trying to get into the mind then. He's trying to play mind games with Eindhoven here to try and get onto that P2. See, just pulling out to the right-hand side there, just to get into the mirrors. Why he's doing that is, well, he's trying to force Van Eindhoven to be thinking about something else other than travelling forward, braking, hit braking markers, hitting your apexes. He just wants to add something else to that, into the mind. So every time you look in your mirrors, you may think like, oh, whatever, I'm not really thinking about them. But you are, because you're looking at them. You're looking for them. So it's something extra for your brain to do, which indeed messes up with your reactions. So it is a strategy a lot of drivers use. I'm very surprised we're not seeing the flashing of the lights, which I detest. But ultimately, a lot of drivers tend to do it. In the DTM Trophy, they do it all the time. It's like they're having a disco while they're racing. But in this championship, I've not seen it once. And with these murky conditions, you'd think it'd be a viable option to indeed try and get into driver's head in front. But again, thankfully, they're not playing those kind of tactics. 1 minute, 20 seconds to go. We're closing in on the final lap here. And I think Eindhoven is probably going to be able to indeed hold on to this position. I would be able to give you the positions of all of these cars, ladies and gentlemen, but I have no idea. There is no timing tower, unfortunately, on the screen for me to be able to reference. So right now, there's just loads of cars going around circuit, and I know the front five are. We're on the final lap of the race as it stands. I am what you call a very honest commentator, guys. The Hyundai here may be looking for a potential move at the death then of this race. We saw this yesterday, that De Borst maybe not the quicker of the two drivers, but as soon as Lorenzo Van Rie got in the car, it was like someone put a rocket in the back of the car. Absolute pace. Again, not able to shape up a potential move as of yet. Some snaking there from the 498. They do indeed now embark on their final lap. 20 seconds left to go. And wow, let's check out the leaders to see the podium sitters. That's what we want. It can't be that close if we're focusing on this battle here. There we go. Time has elapsed here, and well, here's the final lap of today's race, and well, here is what is going to be potentially your double winner of the weekend. Cascatau and Berg in that prototype. The Hyundai trying to find a gap here, and the BMW moves twice there, a little bit naughty for sure. We'll probably use the excuse of, well, it's raining really hard, I can't see. So, you know, fair play. Hyundai again just trying to cut through that corner nicely, but the BMW holding the apex very, very strongly indeed. And as long as you keep your car on the apex, very difficult to be overtaken. And while around the final couple of corners, it is Alain Berg then from Luxembourg, racing with Cascatau from Romania. They will take the checkered flag. Congratulations. And wow, Eindhoven and John de Wilder, they were nearly side by side coming around the final corner here. And it will be Eindhoven by 0.2 of a second to De Wilder around the outside, around the final chicane. It's not going to work out here then for the Hyundai, or is it? No, it's not. The BMW is going to come across in P4. It's a very good result then for the Van Loons. De Borst and Van Rie P5. Steenmetz in P6. We've then got P7 for Arensen. De Gimper and Spielman in P8. Then, great stuff. And a lot of these cars here are indeed a lap down. Graper and Zumbrink finish in 9th position. So we've still got some battling happening here as they come up towards the final couple of corners. I'll tell you what, 3 safety cars. Very interesting race in the end. A lot more interesting than yesterday. Yesterday was very slow. But today, well, the weather conditions have really spiced things up. Thankfully, there's been no real accidents. There's been no potential injury to anybody. It's just been the weather. People losing control of the car and spinning. It's been good though. But there's Alain Berg. You're pretty happy with his performance. Flashing the lights, you'd love to see it. Oh, you're waving at me. Hello. How you doing? Appreciate it. Thank you. There you go, around the final corners. Great result again, and well, it all falls down to the Ginetta Nissan of Max Ashoff. Reliability again. Race 1, didn't finish the race. Race 2, exactly the same. Such a shame. Such a shame. But again, Alain Berg, Cascatell, they're not going to care. It's a great result for them. He's waving at me again. Hello, mate. How are you? Of course, he's waving at the crowd because we've got the crowd in. The fans are allowed in at Assen. And well, they've been absolutely spoilt from action this weekend. It's been some beautiful action. Thumbs up there. Got a very happy driver. That is certainly one way to take the final corner. We know Hyundai are in the World Rallycross. Or have been in the World Rallycross. Well, they are still in the World Rallycross with Gronholm. And now, add Lorenzo Van Rie to that list as he goes across the gravel there. Here's the results then. It is indeed Berg and Cascatell. Hoob van Eindhoven, John de Wilder. Van Loons, De Borsten Van Rie, René Steenmetz. Bart Arensen, De Kimper and Spillman. Graper and Zambrink, Bob Bow in 10th. Vliet Zvierde, Vieringa, Tuben, Drenth and West. Remco de Buis, Voet and Van der Broek. Hoekstra, de Jong, and there's loads of other names. But congratulations to everybody who has been a part of these races. You're now going to be, I hope, see some of the podium action. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for an unbelievable weekend. Hopefully you've enjoyed my coverage with the DTM. I'm back next week where we do indeed have the DTM trophy back and some other support classes. So yeah, thank you for watching. I've been Luke.